And we're going to go all the way back to right triangles, because if you are a little green and maybe you didn't learn sine and cosine, or you completely forgot everything, but you maybe just remember SOHCAHTOA, then this will help you out. Okay. So our sine and cosine is going to start from always having a right triangle. So a right triangle is we're going to have this little box. That means this angle is going to be 90 degrees. And we're also going to have a little angle here. And I'll put this in as theta. Now, when we're dealing with right triangles, especially understanding sine, cosine, then we need to understand the hypotenuse, the adjacent, and the opposite side. The hypotenuse is the largest side of the triangle. Sometimes it's visually easy to see, or other times it's just easy to remember. It's always directly across from our 90-degree angle. The side length that's between your angle and your 90-degree angle is what we call our adjacent side. And the side that's opposite of our angle is what we call our opposite side. I don't know why I was writing hypotenuse again. So that's going to be our opposite side. Now from here, we can actually write out what is the relationship of these sides for the sine cosine function. So the way that we say this and write it out is the sine of angle theta, because it's always with respect to an angle, because we can have different angles, right? There's another angle up here, which I can say alpha, and this changes everything up a little bit. But if I say the sine of theta, well, what it does is it changes this now is the opposite side, and this would be the adjacent side based on that angle alpha. Okay, but anyways, I digress. So if I have the sine of theta, if we remember from SOHCAHTOA, so opposite over hypotenuse, that is going to be the opposite side over the hypotenuse side. Now, a lot of students, including me, for like many years, into many years of being a teacher, I just memorized it as that. Like I didn't understand anything else. What does the sine of the angle represent? Yeah, it's opposite over hypotenuse. But a better way to think about that, it's a comparison. How big is the opposite side compared to the hypotenuse? It can't be larger. The hypotenuse is always greater, right? It can't be equal to it, because then it'd equal to 1 and we wouldn't have a triangle. It can't be 0, right? Because again, we wouldn't have a triangle. So it's going to be some ratio between 0 and 1. And that's what that sine is representing. How big is the opposite to the hypotenuse? And then we look at cosine. Cosine of angle theta is going to be the comparison of how big is the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Now, there's something cool that comes into this. And again, I wanted to make sure I highlighted it real quick, and then I'll talk a little bit about how we can use sine and cosine. But since we're talking about the relationship or must know facts about sine and cosine, I wanted to highlight something. If I had this as theta, and let's do a 3, 4, 5 triangle, because I know that it is a right triangle. And let's call this one alpha, okay? When I'm talking about the sine, let's do the sine of alpha. The sine of alpha is equal to the opposite side, the opposite, which is 3 over 5. But if I'm talking about the cosine of theta, I just want you to see this, because we're going to talk about this later in this video. It's going to come up, and I want you to be able to remember this part of the video and see like, oh, now I can kind of connect the dots into what we were doing with some more advanced features with sine and cosine. The cosine of theta is also going to be 3 over 5. They mean completely different things, but when they are respect with different angles, you can see they actually equal the exact same ratio. Now, anyways, dealing with sines and cosines, really, when we're dealing with right triangles, the best part about this is we can solve for missing angles, or we can solve for missing sides. So if I had this like at 33 degrees and I said this was 7 and this is x, we can use the trigonometric, we can use sine and cosine to help us solve. All I simply do is recognize, all right, per this angle, I have the opposite and the hypotenuse. So I can say the sine of 33 degrees equals x over 7. Then I can multiply by 7, use my calculator, and solve for x. In the same manner, if I didn't have an angle, but I had a right triangle, and let's say I had 10 and 11, and I wanted to solve for this angle, I say, well, I have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. I'm going to have to use cosine. So I could say the cosine of theta equals 10 over 11. Now, in this case, we'd have to use the cosine inverse to be able to find the angle. But again, you can see that is how we apply our sine and our cosine with the right triangles.